Hi everyone, welcome back to Carols of Wisdom from my first Snow by Year. In this video, I will be sharing my family's own Christmas decor, as well as talking about the trends of holiday decor and how it's gone totally out of hand. So this is something that I said in a video last week, I believe, about how homewares have never really held that big of an allure to me as far as things I used to love to want and to buy. And part of the reason for that is because what makes homewares, what makes a home feel like a home, is keeping the same stuff for as long as you can, the rest of your life, ideally. And we have made some of our own furniture, and in doing so, tried to make it to last, tried to make it so parts were replaceable if a specific part of it broke or something like that. Our bed frame is a good example of this. Maybe I can get some B-roll of, it's a little bit weird maybe to be showing you my bed, but we made our own bed frame, and my husband and I did this together before we had kids, and stained it and everything, chose the color, chose the design, customized it. We're both pretty tall, so the headboard is huge. It's definitely like a Texas-sized bed, and I have fond memories of doing that over a summer with him, and we have had the same bed frame, same bed, same everything there since we've been together. We did the same for our dining table bench. We made just a black wooden bench. That one was a little bit less high quality, so it might need to be refinished at some point. It was for the kids to sit on since we have a long table, and we're still using the plastic IKEA chairs that we had in our small table from the apartment, and they actually work just fine, and I'm not really looking to replace them. Even though I thought originally that we might get some nicer wooden chairs, we actually don't need them. They look fine. Anyway, back to the topic of the video. Homewares. What makes homewares special and valuable is keeping them for as long as possible and having the tradition of the same stuff, having the security of the same stuff, having the positive associations of years of memories developed with the same stuff. We actually do have a red couch, which is great for holiday season, but that was just the color of couch that we wanted when we were looking for a couch. I actually was reluctant to buy this specific couch. It was a custom made, like you go to a furniture store and you kind of design your own, so you choose the fabric and the color of the wood and etc. And it was going to be a little bit more expensive than I thought we could afford at the time, but we did get a military discount because my husband being a veteran, and the alternative would have been to buy a cheaper couch that probably would have worn out and needed replacing, and then getting the red couch that we wanted at that point. And, spending half the money or whatever it was on a cheaper couch only to have that wear out and have to be replaced is not the most sustainable thing to do. And it would have also created more hassle down the road, right? We would have had to repurpose a broken couch or a couch that couldn't hold up to kids and etc. life in general for many years. And I guess in some ways it is nice that we made this stretch and got the nicer couch first, which I appreciate that not everybody's going to be able to do. And there are ways to make cheaper things last. There are ways to thrift things that are good quality. We had thrifted couches before that. So this wasn't even really supposed to be a video about everyday homewares, but there we go. Drop your comments if you have stories and tales to share about how you acquired your favorite home decor or furniture or functional pieces in the comments. I would love to hear it. Let's make December a time to share stories. I would love that in the comment section. Okay, back to decor. So I was actually going to bring up my Christmas bin. We just have one large gray plastic bin of Christmas stuff, and in it we have our Christmas ornaments for the tree, a couple of garlands, several garlands actually, like the fake plastic kind of dark green garlands with the wire, and you can wrap them around your staircase or drape them above your mantelpiece or wherever you would like to put them. We have a fake plastic wreath, something that we crafted a while back and just kept. We've got some of those bows that you tie on, the wires, again, plastic. We have tinsel that we wrap around our light fixtures. You might be seeing B-roll of it now because while I was going to pull up the bin and show you here from my chair, I was too late and I got home from work one day and my husband and kids had already decorated. So it was already kind of mostly put up. We have personalized stockings that the intention is that the kids will take their own. And this may or may not actually work because I have a personalized stocking from when I was a kid and I do still have it. In fact, let me go get it and show you. So I still have it. It's got my name on it. But because I'm now part of a family where, I'm going to be honest, my husband wanted us to all have matching ones, and he cares quite a lot about that kind of thing. Like, he's a little bit obsessive about having matching stuff, prefers to have the same brand of everything and get it all at the same time so that the colors aren't going to be different if they change the fabric, you know, things like that. So because I live with somebody for whom that's a very high priority, I could not continue to use my one mismatched Christmas stocking from childhood. But it does carry some really nice memories, and you know, this is kind of a nice decoration in itself. If I wanted to, I could maybe hang that up here. So anyway, we've had the same Christmas stuff and reused everything down to the tinsel. You know, we unwrap it and store it away every single year. And my husband is still of the mentality that he would like to look for one or two more new things each year with a limited budget. And now that we live in a house with more kind of decorating space, it's not really, you know, I've tried to suggest that we don't really need anything else, and we have to be able to at least keep it in the one bin, and I try to set some reasonable parameters, but I am not the only adult here, and I'm not the only one with wants and needs and desires. So I do feel like I have limited influence in my own household sometimes. But anyway, one or two new things a year, I guess I could live with the intention of keeping it for life and using it every single year. I think we also have some kid knickknacks, like a calendar with the little Velcro things and a reusable advent calendar that we put little candies in each morning that the little elf brings them. While I think on the whole, our approach to Christmas decor consumerism is still within the realms of reasonable, especially if we do try to buy quality, reuse everything, not continue the habit of buying something new every year, right? Not beyond what our house can reasonably hold as far as decor. And, you know, everybody also has a personal preference as to how much they want it to look like Christmas exploded in their house every December. And I am kind of the mentality that a little goes a long way. And again, I think my husband is of the mentality that this is his favorite time of year and he wants to have it look like Christmas threw up in our house. So he wants to have maybe some more lights. He wants to do the outside a little bit as well. I put my foot down last year. I was like, we don't have the budget to do any of that. So he got some colored lights for the garage, like light bulbs for the garage lights, and got them set to red and green. So it was like a very subtle, like, Christmas nod, which I'm okay with that. If that were the thing we do this year, just reuse those, like, that would be great. We'll see what I can get away with. I definitely don't want to have yard ornaments or anything like that. Like, no, thank you. Where are we going to put those? Just no. But I think on the whole, we are still within the realms of what could be reasonable. And don't go over budget on these things, and don't go into debt for these things. And we're not doing it to try to impress anybody else or try to set unreasonable precedents for anybody in our family. And we're not doing it to try to make money either. We're not sharing our B-roll of Christmas decor in this video here online with affiliate links or with the urge for you to go buy something that I've just shown you. No. And I think that's where we get into the problem of today's society and the treatment of decor for every holiday under the sun. It's not even just Christmas, although Christmas, I do feel like, has a more dangerous possibility of purchase because more people view Christmas as the time to decorate. For more people, the Christmas decor is the one type of decor that they have and they bring out every year. And so when we see more of this online, and some of it's going to be really appealing to us, some of it's going to be cute. I have seen some reaction videos already, you know, TikTok reaction videos. I'm not on TikTok anymore, but even if I'm not seeing it firsthand, I sometimes see it in the reaction videos where there's this really cute peppermint shaped throw pillow or something like that with the red and white stripes. And it's like, oh wow, that would have quite a big impact, even just here on my couch, you know, like a little peppermint here. I could talk myself into wanting something like that, you know, if I see it 10 times on the TikTok app or whatever, you know, to see all these, you know, beautiful women, beautiful people with their manicured nails and their sleeves like this, and they're going into Target with no cares in the world. And I think, oh, I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that stress-free life. Let me go get that peppermint cushion. I could talk myself into that all day, but I'm not going to, because now I can also talk myself out of it. And I hope you can too. Anyway, so I think the problem partly with the Christmas decor is that we legitimize it. We think, okay, I'm not going to fall for all that other holiday seasonal decor. No, ma'am. But Christmas, yeah, maybe I can choose a few of these things that I'm seeing, the cutest ones, the ones that are right for me, and acquire those, bring them into my life. Maybe I'll go to Target and have a browse, have a look around, see if anything takes my fancy. I actually do think that something like the peppermint pillow would be a good crafting project, right? I used to knit, and I'm kind of getting into crochet, and that is the kind of thing that I could see being super fun doing as a handmade craft in the years down the road, where perhaps my kids could join in and participate. So it might be many years down the road for me, but I can keep the aesthetic in the back of my mind, and maybe in 10 years you'll see me with a handmade peppermint throw pillow here, and it will also have had the other functions of occupying my time, giving me something to do with my hands, possibly teaching other people in my family to knit or crochet. I can use it as a group project. My family can help me, my kids can help if they want, and I will have the satisfaction of having designed it and made it, used my human ingenuity to figure out how that would best be done, and all of the above, used my muscles of creativity rather than just going to the store and buying something that was designed thoughtlessly or without much care and produced in a lower quality way with profit as the bottom line, profit margins, lowest quality materials, not low quality labor. I'm not saying that the work people do is low quality, but if they're not being paid enough for what they do and they're being rushed into production, then it's just not going to be the craftsmanship that somebody who is free to take their time and care about what they're making will exhibit. So anyway, that's maybe getting into a subject for another day. The other thing about crafting-based decor, or even advent calendars and little scavenger hunts that you can do instead of advent calendars, or, otherwise personalize that kind of Christmas tradition, is that it does create the tradition. It does create the lasting activity, right? So that the excitement for the activity is what drives the season. The things that you will do together, the things that you might make together. Baking cookies is a common holiday activity. Making Christmas paper chains or popcorn garlands or things like that. Orange slice holiday crafts, potpourri, whatever it is. That is the kind of activity I can get behind and continue to want to try without feeling like it's a consumerist trap, right? Making the cider out of the oranges and things like that. Or what is it? Glow wine, the German hot beverage. So I love the idea of creating crafting traditions or otherwise making things as a holiday tradition that don't require a lot of purchase, especially if these things are consumable at the end of the activity. So much of what we see advertised on the social media platforms is plastic trash. And if it's not plastic trash, it's kind of overpriced, very seasonal items that you're only going to be able to use for a couple months out of the year. So whether it's the pajamas or the kind of expensive blankets, the nice premium Barefoot Dreams holiday printed blanket. I don't know if that exists, but I'm sure there's something like that, right? Where there's like a nice upscale looking holiday decoration that probably is priced a little too high for what it is, and then also is only going to be used for November, December, because you don't want to have that stuff out in January anymore, right? It's kind of like impeding your reset for the new year. So you have to put all that away. Maybe it's a little narrow-minded to consider it either one of those two categories where it's either plastic trash or overpriced seasonal items that won't get the cost per use. But I'll be thinking about that as the season continues and I see more and more examples of this. Maybe I won't see more examples of this since it's already December and I don't know if people are trying to cash in on decor when a lot of people might have already put it up. I think some practical questions before you acquire any new decor is asking yourself directly, is this plastic trash? Am I going to want to keep and use this every single year? And if not, don't buy it. Again, I might be stating the obvious, preaching to the choir as far as the viewers of this channel, but I guess it had to be said. Anyway, I do have my box of nice ornaments here that I was going to show you. And this is another category where collecting can be a little dangerous. Collecting can be a fun family tradition, but I do actually think that there's a point where maybe it's good to stop that tradition. And that could be a hot take, right? Maybe some of you have been collecting ornaments on vacations and things like that for decades, and maybe it's been fine. I'm not saying that we won't collect an ornament if we're on a family vacation, but I do think that companies know this, and therefore they produce ornaments so that anytime you go somewhere, you know, that is kind of like a tourist souvenir that's available, right? So the snow globes, the ornaments, etc. So I do want to be wary of that and not feel obligated to add a Christmas ornament every time we have a milestone or go on vacation or things like that. I do have my box of nice ornaments that I can kind of go through quickly and share the stories behind. And if you have anything special in your holiday decor, I would love to hear your stories and what makes it special to you as well. So yes, I have them in this old box from when I got influenced to try an underwear subscription, of all things. I did not keep the subscription. I just made the first order and got the deal or whatever and immediately canceled. And I think I had to make a phone call to cancel, so that was great. But not falling into that trap again. The box is being reused for many, many years, so at least there's that. And inside is our small collection of nice ornaments. There is an airplane as well that I think already made it on to the tree. The airplane was acquired because at the time, my husband was about to take a job with the airlines and go to their flight school. But that didn't actually end up happening. There was some medical issues that happened and we pivoted, and now he's working with trains. So planes, trains, and automobiles. Anyway, so around the same time as we acquired the airplane, we got these two monkeys. And there is kind of a family meaning for those. I suppose only the real OGs are still here at this time of the video, so I can go into some more personal family details perhaps. These two monkeys are to represent my stepkids. And that's kind of a whole saga of events that I will refrain from going into. But they are older and come back. We'll actually have both of them for Christmas this year. These were purchased when they were still kids and living with us. There was a phrase, "not my circus, not my monkeys," which I found helpful at the time, navigating some of those life changes that I hadn't really been prepared for. And this is how they affectionately became named the monkeys, and they gave that to themselves, right? I didn't project that onto them. Again, this is maybe like getting too deep into family history that's maybe going to be interpreted the wrong way, but I can assure you that it's a positive thing. It's a positive nickname, and that's why we have those monkeys on our tree. And now we have these ornaments that my kids, the little ones, got to choose. So of course they went for the unicorn and the puppy dog, and they chose them themselves, and they're soft, and they're able to put them on the tree themselves without fear of dropping them. So those are for the little ones. This is not a sentimental ornament. This is just a shiny jingle bell that we keep in the box of nice ornaments. This is also not a nice ornament. It's the pickle. And I saw on the packaging of this, I think, that like you're supposed to look for the pickle on the Christmas tree, and the person who finds it first gets to open the first gift or whatever. I think whoever purchased this just thought it was funny, and that's why we have it. We don't actually observe that tradition. Okay, now we do have some gifts that were collected on travel trips. This one is a New Zealand bird that comes apart, so I've got to kind of reassemble it. Wow, that was a little trickier than I thought it would be. So this is a New Zealand bird. I really should know the name. It might be a fantail, right? That would be the obvious since the tail kind of looks like that. And it kind of reminds me of the tradition of having red cardinals for Christmas. We got a red fantail, if that's what this is. A musical ornament. So that one was kind of to represent me. So back in the day, we had the monkeys, the airplane to represent my husband, and then this one to represent me. And then we kind of add them for the kids that come along. This is just a random Santa with a violin. So again, a musical themed ornament that adds a little bit of festivity. And then we have the small collection of ornaments that we got traveling and kind of picked up as part of that tradition of collecting that I'm trying to kind of, I mean, I guess when I look at the collection we have, it's not that we've gone overboard or that we have so many ornaments that they don't mean anything anymore. So it depends how much we travel, I guess, whether that remains a tradition or not. So first of all, we have the Statue of Liberty with a snowman from New York. And that was from a trip that we did before having kids, like right before having kids. So maybe our last little bit of travel. I think both of these were from Peru, or maybe one of them was Chile. I'm not exactly sure. But these are from our South American trip. We have a maple leaf from our trip to Canada. We went to Vancouver for a music festival. And I actually find this to be a very beautiful ornament. It's kind of like a delicate metal and you can almost see through it. You can see through it actually. It's like woven. So it's actually really nice ornament. And then we have this one from our trip to Rotterdam and, you know, in Holland, the Netherlands. And so it's like that blue glass and it's in the shape of a heart. So it is kind of romantic, I guess, when I think about when we, the times where we would go on these trips. So that's basically all the trips we went on in the time we were together. We went to South America, we went to Europe and New Zealand, and then New York, and then we did some incidental shorter ones, the Canada trip. We've been to New Orleans on a road trip a couple of times since it was only 5 hours away from Houston. And that's pretty much it. We went to Florida a couple of times. We don't have any ornaments from Florida. Maybe it was an international travel thing, except for New York. I don't know. And then we do have one from my husband's sister, which says our first Christmas engaged. So that's a glass ornament that was a gift. And the funny thing about this is that it says 2019, and we actually got married in 2018, but we didn't tell anybody. So we pretended to get engaged in, it might have been 2019, that we pretended to get engaged in like March or April. And he did the proposal thing at his final trombone recital for his degree in Houston, and gave me the engagement ring at that point. And we were already married because for, you know, practical reasons, I guess, and had planned when we got married to do a wedding in 2020. So like we already thought ahead, and 2020 happened, and needless to say, the wedding did not. So still kind of waiting on that. Maybe we'll do a 10-year vow renewal. I do already have the dress because there was one that was like drastically reduced, and it was a size or two too big, and that actually has turned out to be favorable, and I can get it altered to fit more or less perfectly when the time comes that I actually need to wear it. And I probably will not be as small as I was when I bought the dress, so it all worked out, I guess. So anyway, that's our little collection of more special ornaments. And I guess, given that we're probably not going to be traveling extensively with all the kids now that we have, the little kids, it might be a good tradition to uphold. And it is kind of nice to go through that once a year and think about all the trips we've taken. And I guess I can see it becoming even more special when we have the kids' memories in there as well. And maybe this is exactly how the marketers want me to feel about it. You know, if we go to Disneyland and buy the overpriced Christmas ornaments, maybe they want us to think, oh, all these special memories are worth paying $70 for, or whatever. We're not going to pay $70 for a Christmas ornament, obviously, but I'm just illustrating a possible scenario of consumerism that this is feeding into. But maybe this is one that I can choose to be okay with, and I can also choose to limit the other possible avenues of Christmas consumerism to achieve a sense of balance in this regard. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there today. If you have any stories about your own kind of Christmas decor collections that you would like to share, I would love to hear them. If you have any tips and tricks or advice for avoiding accumulating too much home decor or Christmas decor, let us know. Share your wisdom in the comments. And most of all, we can try to avoid decking our halls with plastic trash. All right, bye for now, and I will see you tomorrow.